Can I work online even if I already have a full-time job? Interestingly, the majority of the students and clients that I've had the privilege to coach in finding a new online job were people who were already employed at a specific company, or people who were entrepreneurs, or people who had something going on, but most of the times they had a full-time job. And interestingly, at the end of our coaching programs, they were able to land an online job. So the short answer to your question is yes, you can. But before I dive deeper into how you can actually go about it, I wanted to bring back a few of the misconceptions that my clients and my students had before they really dove into working online or finding online jobs. The first common misconception that the students had and that you might be having is, I don't have time. And it's understandable, because when you have a full-time job, you're working at least 8 hours a week. Some people work 9 to 10 hours a week, depending on a day, at least 8 hours a day. Some people work 9 to 10 hours a day, depending on the field in which you are. So when you get back home, you feel like, after I've spent all these 8, 9 or 10 hours at work, when I come back home, I'm very tired. I don't have time or energy to commit to anything else. The second misconception that you might have about working online even though you already have a full-time job is thinking that you will need to take time out of your schedule to actually do the online job. In reality, we all have the same 24 hours, and it's all a matter of how you allocate your own personal 24 hours. I'm going to dive deeper into that later on in this video. The third misconception that you might have about working online even though you already have a full-time job is thinking that you need to get new skills for that online job. The reality is, because you already have a full-time job, you already by definition have a subset of skills that you can actually use and transfer to the online marketplace. So you don't have to reinvent the skills or reinvent the wheels. You just need to find the clients who are going to need the skills that you already have, which means that for you who is already working in the physical industry, you have an added advantage compared to somebody who doesn't have any work experience at all, in the sense that you have skills that you can readily monetize, and it's just a matter of you finding the clients who need those skills online. This takes us to the second part of this video, where I wanted to talk about why you should actually go for an online job even if you already have a full-time job. Number one, using the skills that you have and transferring them to the online marketplace. In addition to that, the fact that you probably have some grievances at your job, either you not having enough money or not being able to earn a lot, or feeling frustrated or always feeling tired, will serve as added motivation, the extra push and the extra kick that you personally need to put in the work to find an online job. You know, it's going to require you to do long hours at times. It's going to require you to double your effort. It's going to require you to go the extra mile to get out of your comfort zone. But with whatever you're feeling from your actual existing job and whatever you're not happy about, should be used as the motivation, as the drive, and as the fuel that you need for you to really push for you to land an online job, be it to increase or supplement your income or to achieve the financial freedom that you want to achieve. How can you manage having a full-time job and working online at the same time? It's not easy, but it's doable if you have the right coach and the right strategy. I'm going to share with you some of the tips that I have personally used and I have shared with my students from the Caribbean, from Dominica, and from around the world who are working full-time in real life and also working full-time online. Not to say that online job is not real life, but you know what I'm saying. Number one, you need to develop personal discipline. Let me tell you something. Unless you have personal discipline, you are not going to make it. Personal discipline allows you to be strict with your time, to be strict with your energy, to be strict with your plans, and to follow through for every single thing that you commit yourself to. Your yes needs to be yes and your no needs to be no. Personal discipline is also going to make you have to make some sacrifices. You are going to have to say no to a lot of things that are not fulfilling your mission at the time. If something doesn't contribute to your mission of landing that new online job or increasing your income or saving more or earning more, you're gonna have to say no to that. If something is you've planned an activity that is probably going to take the time that you should be using for you to either find online jobs or complete clients projects, you're gonna have to say no to that. If you used to engage in conversations that were not nourishing for your mind, or were not elevating you, or were just time wasters, or maybe just distractions, you're gonna have to say no to that. Because when you have a goal, you you need to be 100% focused on that goal and eliminate every single distraction, anything else that is going to pull you away from focusing on that goal. And that is where you need your personal discipline. In this setting, personal discipline is going to help you stay accountable to yourself. When you finish your 9 to 5 or your 8 to 4, whatever your work hours are, you need to know when you start your online job, and you need to make sure that you are there at that time. Anything else that is trying to prevent you from fulfilling that plan, you need to say no to that. Alongside with personal discipline, the second thing that you need, the second strategy or the second tip that I want to share with you is time management. You need to be critical and jealous with your time. There is no way around it. If you have a full-time job and if you want to land an online job, you're going to have to say no to a lot of things. Again, going back to the first point, you are not going to be able to do the same things that you were doing before you had that goal and that plan of landing an online job. It's not going to be possible because you only have 24 hours in a day. So you need to know how you prioritize those hours. From 9 to 5, you are at your 9 to 5. From 5 to 6, maybe you're using that time to commute, to go back home. 6 to 7, maybe that's the time when you prepare your dinner and you relax. 7 to 8, what do you do during that time? 8 to 9, what do you do? 9 to 10, what do you do? 10 to 11, what do you do? 11 to 12, what do you do? And so the cycle goes on. The reason I'm giving you this breakdown is because a lot of times we just go about our lives and go about our days, going with the flow and feeling like, well, when 4 o'clock reach or when 5 o'clock reach, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. But when you have goals like landing an online job or working online, you need to be critical with your time, especially if you have another job or another gig going on. Unless you know where your time goes, you're not going to know how to manage it. You're not going to be able to identify the things that are wasting your time, and you are not going to be able to achieve those goals. So you really need to be critical with managing your time. Something that works personally well for me is keeping a schedule of what I do on a daily basis. I use an alarm on my phone. Actually, I have several alarms that remind me of every hour. And when the alarm starts to ring, I check what I'm supposed to be doing at that hour, and it gives me a self-check, and I check myself and I say, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, then it's time for me to fix it. For example, if from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm supposed to be writing or recording a video, right? And the alarm rings, and from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm actually just scrolling on social media, I need to check myself. So when you have a full-time job, because you have that illusion of not having enough time, you need to double your efforts when it comes to putting in the work to either land your online job or actually do that online job. Time management is critical. If you are not aware of where your time is going, you are not going to make it. Third tip that I have for you, if you want to land an online job and you already have a full-time job, is avoiding distraction. That goes along with your time management. When you check your time on a daily basis, when you check what you're doing, when you check where your hours are going, when you train yourself to do that, you are better able to see areas of your days where you tend to waste time. Okay, so what I do and what works personally well for me is before every month, I plan what I want to be achieving every day, and I review those goals on a weekly basis. So I know where my time goes, and I know what I'm supposed to be doing within different hours, right? So when I check back my goals and I have my daily alarm reminders that remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing, I am able to see whether or not I am completing those goals or I am veering away from the path and sinking into distractions. What are common distractions that you might encounter on a daily basis? Random conversations, social media, unexpected calls, unexpected emails, breaking news, scandals, or, people pulling you aside for advice all the time, or people stepping into your office at different times. But either way, distractions come in different ways. But it's up to you to really understand, to really be aware of what's going on and know how you can avoid those distractions. For me, for example, the biggest distraction has been social media, and that has also been a problem that a lot of my students used to struggle with. So what I started implementing as a strategy was creating or creating times in my schedule for social media hours, which means outside of those hours, you will not find me on social media, and I can guarantee you that. It was difficult to implement at first, but now I'm getting a lot better at it. So what I do is, in my schedule, I have specific hours when I'm on social media, and by social media I mean Facebook, Instagram, if I spend time on Pinterest, as well as WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp is a social media platform. So I have specific hours in my schedule when I'm on social media for entertainment purposes, and during that time I respond to messages, I post, I interact, and so forth. But outside of those hours, you will see me doing the work that I'm supposed to do. If messages have to be left unread, so be it. If calls have to be left unanswered for that time being, so be it. But it's important for you to know that if you want to maximize your time, you need to know where your time goes. So when I'm doing my social media work during the social media hours, right, I try to do everything that I'm supposed to be doing at that time. And if I didn't finish everything, then I'm going to do it at the next social media hour. But it's important for me because it gives me a certain sense of discipline and a certain sense of control, and that way I'm better able to budget my time and know exactly where my time goes and avoid unnecessary distractions throughout the day. Additionally, if you are constantly distracted, you are not going to be able to focus on one specific task. And every time you get distracted from finishing a task, it takes you twice or thrice the effort to finish that task when you get back your focus. So it's really important for you to maximize on your time and to know how to avoid distractions. If you are interested in this type of content, I can create a separate video series where I teach you and I show you how I personally manage to avoid distractions throughout my days, and how I also taught my students to do the same in order to produce their productivity every single day. Piece of advice that I have for you, if you have a full-time job and you want to get an online job, is going for part-time jobs. Depending on what you're doing full-time right now, your job might be more demanding than somebody else's, right? So you might not be able to do a full-time physical job as well as a full-time online job too. So go for part-time jobs. There are different opportunities online. You can work with clients on a contract basis, you can work with clients on an hourly basis, you can work with clients on a part-time or full-time basis. Work for you. If you want to have more information about companies that are hiring around the world, people in the Caribbean, people in Dominica, Antigua, St. Lucia, even in Africa or in Asia, make sure you check my remote job directory, which is at the bottom of this video. I update this every single week. My team and I, we browse throughout all the resources that we have, and we update the directory with new companies every single week in different categories. The companies are hiring for writers, for content creators, for graphic designers, video editors, HR people, administrative assistants, secretaries, graphic designers, customer service reps, virtual assistants, and so much more. But you need to check it out. You need to look at the directory, access it, sign up. It's free. I hope you found this video helpful. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to be notified every single time I release these kind of videos, because they are going to provide you the information that you cannot find anywhere else. Information that is going to help you and help you take the next steps towards finding your next online job. Take care, and until next time.